This won't surprise you at all, considering, this whole YouTube channel, but when I was a kid, I was a Nintendo kid. The first console my parents got me when I was 5 was a Super Nintendo, and a couple of years later, I got my hands on the Nintendo 64. My cousin, on the other hand, had a Sega Master System and a Sega Genesis, so I also had the chance to play Sonic the Hedgehog. One Sonic game that I didn't get the chance to play was Sonic R for the Sega Saturn. And it's not that big of a deal really, because, let's be honest, look at this. It looks broken, it looks boring, generic, and it looks like it plays like a mess. And the soundtrack, don't get me started on this soundtrack. The soundtrack alone should be scary enough to be considered a spooky mindblow. If you didn't get it, Sonic R is a racing game. The roster isn't really big, giving you the option of playing as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy at first. There's a couple of unlockable characters such as Dr. Robotnik, Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, Super Sonic, and more. There's also an unlockable character that I haven't mentioned yet, and for good reason. To unlock this character, you need to collect 5 Sonic tokens on the Radical City racetrack and finish in the first 3 positions. Then you'll have to beat Tails' doll. Tails' doll is supposedly a robotic version of Tails created by Dr. Robotnik, featuring a giant metal rod going out of the head, probably to control it wirelessly. It is so odd looking, almost supernatural, as if it possessed weird powers. It almost looks as if it could curse me just by looking at it. And you know what? This reminds me of a story I've been told a couple of years ago. A man came home with a gift for his son. He gave him a copy of Sonic R. He was really excited to play it with his son, and they had a blast playing it. A couple of days later, the boy was almost finished with the game. While the credits were playing, the dad asked his son about the game and what he liked the most about it. It was at this moment that he saw something unsettling on the TV screen. He asked his son what this was. The boy responded that it was the Tails doll. The boy went to bed. The dad, unable to sleep, wanted to find more about the game, so he noticed that he could now play the game as Tails' doll. He decided to choose the character. He had fun until the game tagged him up with Sonic. At this point, the screen went black and the game shut itself down. The dad decided to go to bed since he was working the following day, but at around 2 a.m. he woke up as he heard thumps on the door. He assumed it was his son, as this wasn't the first time his son woke him up at night. He asked his son to stop and go back to bed. But the thumping kept happening, and at one point, the father saw a little shadow coming from under the door. For some weird reason, Tails kept popping into his head. The father got out of bed and slowly opened the door. Then, he heard someone say something very softly. "You are coming with me forever." It was a doll, an evil, blood-covered, possessed little doll. But it wasn't any doll. It was the doll from the game. It had to be. It is unknown what happened after this, but we can only assume he got the Tails doll curse and passed away. Hopefully, you didn't play the game with Tails doll, have you? And hopefully, I'll be okay, because I had to play with Tails doll for this video. I'll be okay, right? You are coming with me forever. Do you enjoy spooky things? Good news. I have other spooky mindblows for you. Click the links to get spooked even more. But beware, you might not sleep tonight.